So we have driven up to Kissimmee to see Karim. And Karim is from Antigua, and he's been living here for more than 20 years. He's got certain restrictions in the front yard, but of course he has to grow as much tropical fruit as possible. So hopefully he can show us how he does that and what he's growing.
Yep, I have a restriction in the front and the side of the house. So in the front I tend to try to fit little things in that's a little bit less conspicuous, like a couple of pineapples.
Yeah, I'm seeing the pineapples.
Yep, put as much pineapples as possible. They don't give me a problem with that. Until they start growing and they start disappearing. That's the only thing. But in the front, that's pretty much it. And then I have a cactus fruit, which we tend to eat the actual
You eat the part, not just the flower. I see it's flowering there, or is that another pad?
Yeah, this I don't think this one is currently flowering, but we actually eat those
pads.
Those pads.
Yeah. And how do you eat them?
We usually eat them when they're very young. Most of these are too woody. They're kind of woody. And we cut them up, boil them, mix them with bacalao, saltfish, and that's how we eat them. Kind of like spinach. Sometimes we chop them up, or just slice them up.
So it's got like a lot of health benefits to it, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, and you know, people from the island have been eating it for a very long time too. Yeah.
So you only eat it with the fish?
Yeah, mostly with fish and mixed with spinach, kind of thing, and zucchini and stuff like that. That's pretty much how we eat it. I know there's people like my dad eat them raw, you know, so that's his way of eating most things, straight from the tree. So, but yeah, we tend to cook them, slice them up pretty small, and mix them with either saltfish or spinach.
So is that a spineless one? I'm not seeing spines on
it. There's some spines at the bottom, and within it has some like fiberglass kind of spines that gets into your finger. Not fun at all, but it's not the very spiny version.
Yeah, I have some at my place, and I noticed that toward the base of the plant near the ground, you can get surprised.
Yeah, these have some pretty long spines at the base of the plant. Yeah.
So let's take a look. Head on this way.
It's unfortunate. I would like to put things all around here, but
yeah, they got all this space.
Yeah, I know. Can't do nothing with it. So I tend to put stuff like these. This right here is a Sapodilla tree. I've had this tree in the ground for maybe about 8 years or so.
It is a beautiful tree. You know, the glossy leaves and such, and I guess, you know, with this, because it's more of a bushy kind, you can sort of pretend it's not a fruit tree, because it's just, you know, the fruit are mostly hidden.
And it had a Christmas tree shape. It had like a centerpiece that was like yay tall, and it was getting too big, so I cut that, and that just took away all the energy, so it's been growing back newly. But it should be a very big tree, but I'm too active sometimes.
Well, I have a Solano Sapodilla that is about this height. It looks a little scragglier than this one, and it produces like 100 fruit at that size. But in order to keep it that size, it's been in the ground for at least 15 years. But you know, every year I trim back the new growth. But
it's yet to fruit.
Oh my!
So
was it a grafted tree?
It's a grafted tree.
Wow.
No, I think it was ear layered. Yeah, this was ear layered.
Okay, well it still should be producing.
Yeah, never produced. I don't know if I'm feeding it wrong or what to say. No flowers, no nothing.
Wow. Well, I hope it produces for you soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, it's a pretty tree, but it is very pretty. It'd be nice to have the fruit too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and this would be one that's that would have a fruit that's less conspicuous for,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
self-development.
This looks like lychee.
Yeah, this is a lychee. This one is a sweetheart lychee.
And has that fruited for you?
This one fruits a lot for me. And this year I decided to cut all the blooms off so it could grow a little bit bigger. I tend to let them fruit as much as possible just so I could keep them small, kind of thing. But this year I tried to do something a little different.
And so far it's okay with the...
Yeah, oh yeah, so far it's very good so far.
you know, the rules committee hasn't really noticed that one yet.
No, but the passers-by have noticed it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They're not reporting it, they're just removing the evidence.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, and this tree's been in the ground for right about the same time. No, maybe about 5 years this year. And most of these I've gotten when they were pretty small. Yep, but my wife loves this fruit.
You got Moringa here.
Yeah, this is the most eaten tree, I believe. We pick off of it every morning, and we hack at it a lot because we dehydrate the leaves and we put them in smoothies. So this should have been done. I was
do
supposed
you eat
to.
the pods?
We eat the. I've tried the smaller pods in mixed with beans before, and I'm not too fan of it. I like them to get this this old,
mature, yeah.
and then I'll take the seed out, and then I'll drink a couple of the seed with water in the morning, kind of thing. Kind of like a one a day, you know, or two a day.
Yeah, it's got, you can eat just about every part of this tree.
Yeah. So the next thing I was supposed to have pruned it, but you know, get it all pruned up, and it grows super fast.
Yeah.
This is a tree that I can't control the growth at all.
Does it get affected by the colder weather up here?
Yes, it does.
So does it freeze back or just lose the leaves?
Yeah, the first year it freezes back, and then I realized that I should just maybe prune it before it gets cold, because it tends to lose all the leaves anyway. And I eat the leaves, so I tend to prune it before it gets cold and leave it kind of bare. And it do pretty good doing it like that, because it comes back strong right after the cold. But if I leave all the leaves, it looks very bad, and then I lose all the benefits, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that one. This one is
Loquat.
a Loquat, yeah. Bradenton, and this hasn't been growing very fast at all.
So how long has this been in there?
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, this is a little bit more cold tolerant than other plants.
Yeah, it seems not to do anything at all to this.
So yeah, and a lot of people just put it in for a landscape plant because it's a pretty tree.
Yeah, it is. And I thought of putting one of these in my front yard as well, just because it's a pretty landscaping tree. Just to see how that works. They might tell me I have to move it. They'll have to threaten me a couple of times before I actually do it. You know?
Several reminders.
Yep. After they send me a thing saying next time they'll find me, then I'll be sorry.
Right.
And I tend to just put, my neighbors always clean their yards, and they tend to gather all
the
these leaves, and that's what I use for fertilizer and for mulching. Works pretty good for me.
Great.
It breaks down fast and keeps that organic thing going as well.
Right. Yeah. You need to throw those out.
Yes. And this one is
Jaboticaba.
And this one fruits a lot.
Oh, so you do get fruit from it.
A lot of fruit, sometimes twice per season.
And it's, do you get fruit like in February, March, or what?
Yes, always in February. And I just got some fruit about 2 months ago. So I'd say February, and then there's one crop, and then the end of March, it's beginning of the crop. And this is a very old tree. I've had this tree in a pot for about 11 years. and then I put it in the ground. So this tree been in the ground maybe about 7 years.
Wow. Yeah, it's an attractive tree. It's the branches and everything are nice. It's a member of the myrtle family. It's got the same peely bark.
Yeah, I like that peely bark.
Yeah, and you can make it any shape or train it any way you want. So it's a perfect one to sort of go under the radar here. It's a pretty.
I never knew if I should, because it grows so slow. I've never pruned it. That's one reason I've never pruned it. I don't know if I should.
Yeah, you can prune it.
A little bit.
Yeah, you can prune it quite a bit actually, because the fruit is on the interior, and so it's not like pruning a mango tree where like the fruit is hanging off the tips. It's I know people who really can grow it almost like a hedge.
Oh, okay.
But it's easier to reach the fruit that way.
Yes, it is.
You might have a little tougher time seeing it.
Yes, yeah, I know. Yeah. And with this, it's hard to actually see the fruit, which I don't mind again.
Yeah, you don't have so many visitors.
Yeah. But this is, I love this fruit.
But yeah, you can trim this and not affect anything. Every part that is just starting to get a little bit wider than you might want it.
Yeah.
And it should be fine.
The fruit tends to come on the older part.
Right, yeah.
I don't get fruits.
Right, it has to be a little bigger than that. But pretty nice.
So this might be a thing I probably will prune, just to see how that works, because I've never pruned it. And it gets late and stuff like that. And then I don't get fruits on the edge. So see if I get a better fruit set.
Yeah, it'll be easier to pick it.
Because I've seen how your tree is. You have one that pretty much is, you could just reach right in.
Yeah, and there's different stories for every one of them that we have. One that kept getting knocked over by every hurricane, and it looks a lot different from the one next door and stuff. So, it'd be great to just sort of play around with it a little bit. You might find some combination you like a whole lot, but it looks good.
And this is a big Ackee tree hanging over. I've pruned that several times and it just grows.
So does that lose its leaves in the winter?
No, keeps all the leaves. It stays green just like this.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful lighting that you've arranged right now too.
I just, it's no fruit. I've had it in the ground for a very long time.
Oh, so that's the main problem, is there's no fruit. I didn't realize.
Yeah, no fruit. Never fruited. I've heard that it needs another tree for it to pollinate, but it's no flower. I don't. And I've seen them mono tree in yards in the island, and they fruit. I don't know if maybe it's because there's other tree in the neighborhood or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Why it fruits, or why it gathers the fruit. But this one.
So what you're saying is this could be up in the front yard, and no one would complain.
No one would complain. Except for the fact that it's vigorous.
Yeah, it looks like you've done a good job keeping it trimmed back. But
Every time it's hurricane time, I cut it all the way back. I pretty much took beneath the fence height, because it's so lanky,
Looks very happy though. Very, very healthy. Got some bananas going here.
A couple of bananas there. These bananas, as soon as I pick one, another one tends to come. And those are, I believe, Manzano Bananas. Like the gold figure short piece.
Yeah. They look a little bigger than my Manzano, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I give them a lot of fertilizer, and that mulch just does wonders because it breaks down so fast.
Yeah, this is great in here. There's no grass. It's just all big compost type situation for your plants.
Yeah. It's a very good ecosystem here, and it's nice and cool. The mango trees before the banana. I don't know if the bananas, mycorrhizal. Transfer from plant to plant, but before the mango trees didn't do so good until I put the bananas in.
So it seems like it's really protected here too from the, you know, like if you get a cold front or something.
Yes,
you know, with
yes,
all
they
these
are.
plants here, and you got the house right here, and a fence over there. You're definitely blocking wind, and you're probably retaining some heat here too.
Yep, that's nice. And the circulation of course pretty good. I tend to plant most of my trees kind of close together. This one is a coconut cream. Grows very lanky though.
Yeah, it tends to droop down.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep cutting it back.
Yeah.
But
these need pruning too.
so do you ever have your bananas freeze back here?
No, never. Nope. Never had them freeze back. I've never had to happen in half or anything like that. During the hurricane time, I just leave like 2 main leaf branches coming out.
Yeah.
And prune all the others and throw them on the ground. That way it doesn't have much to go around, you know?
Right.
Because they tend to look very ugly after the wind beats them up.
Yeah, shred them all up and everything, yeah.
So I tend to just use a ladder and cut them back as much as possible.
So how, with these mangoes here, how's production?
This one produced, I think, right around 20 fruits also, roughly.
Oh, that seems good. It's
over
about
this mango season.
about a 5-foot tree, it looks like. And
And I was thinking maybe that's why it was, because the mangoes was pretty big size.
Yeah, it droops even without mangoes on it. It's so that it just keeps shooting out new leaves, and it's the leaves are heavy and the stem is heavy, and it doesn't often branch on its own. So the main thing is to just keep cutting it back, and cut it back below this area. Like you want to go, well, because this pathway's right here, you might want to go back to the first 3 leaves and cut there, but you could do it, extend it out a little bit further, and that, you know, just keep on top of it so that it stays, you know, more compact, because this is just really typical of coconut cream. It just, it's so heavy. The leaves, the new growth is so heavy it droops down. So if you can get it branching, then it sort of stays better. And you can also eliminate, you know, like this branch that's heading downward anyway, you can cut that off. And then when you cut this, it will shoot out branches that are going up.
Yeah, definitely. I should be pruning it.
Well, it looks gorgeous.
This
you know,
weekend it does.
It's like
it does. And I have,
but you know, the fruit that would be on these things would end up on the ground unless you prop it up and that kind of stuff.
And we actually do drink the use the leaves. We dry them out, and it says it's good for high blood pressure and constipation and stuff like that. And I have a little man that tends to not eat very well, so we tend to give him the mango leaves after they dry out.
So you use the mature mango leaves? I've heard of people eating the immature ones, the young ones. I don't know. I haven't done that.
You know, and I didn't trust the tea too much because my mother-in-law had a very bad reaction, swollen lips from eating the mango. Like very swollen lips, and her tongue was swollen, and she's not allergic. It's just, I don't know if it's a sap that does that to her. So I'm always skeptical about the leaf, but I tried it, and after drying it out, it makes a very good tea.
Good to know.
Yeah. So guys, this one is pretty lanky as well. This one is a carry. This one I have a lot of mangoes on. I would say this one needs to be pruned back. I was going to prune it back maybe about this far, just to keep it back this way.
Yeah, it's, you know, very healthy. It looks great as far as the health and you know, like being in a forest environment, but you know, because we're still in the growing season, you cut back further than you think you need it to, because it goes right back. It goes right back.
This just did this within like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Because before it was back there, and now it's right after. You know, I should, and I've heard you say, right, when you pick your mangoes, when you pick your crop, it's a good time to prune, and I didn't do that, and this is what happened.
It's very happy here.
Yes, it is. And this one been in the ground for quite a while as well. Maybe about 6-7 years as well. And they don't get too big. This one is a lemon meringue. This one gave me, as small as this tree is, gave me a lot of fruit. I tend to allow them to just fruit as much as possible because my idea is to keep them small, and if they're putting all the energy into the fruit, it might not grow as much.
Yeah, good idea, because they're definitely, there's only so much energy it can make, and so, you know, if it's at the size that you want the tree to be, then get more fruit.
Yep. Tend to do that with this, and this was a very good, very nice mango tree. Not just these little things within it. And I have some seedlings that I tried to graft.